it comes to Dragon Ball, there is a lot of villains out there. But usually in a lot of people's lists, the main villains that they like are Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, Broly, and so on. And now we know Tamashii Nations when it comes to Dragon Ball villains. They really don't care about a lot of other villains, basically besides Frieza. And then they maybe sprinkle something here once in a blue moon. But if there is another Dragon Ball villain that does get a decent amount of love, it's Broly. In terms of Broly, we have all of his forms for the superhero movie. But in terms of the original Legendary Super Saiyan, all we have is his Legendary Super Saiyan form. We don't have a base form, we don't have a Super Saiyan form, we don't have none of that. In terms of the Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, all we have is the one from 2014 and quote-unquote a reissue of that one from a long time ago, but with just a different stand. No changes, no nothing. And it's also really expensive, like 90 bucks? Damn! But what if I told you there's a third-party company that redid the Broly design for the original S.H.Figuarts Legendary Super Saiyan one, but gave it a little bit more of an update? And we have reviewed them on this channel before. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you'll see. Or in the title, because obviously it's going to be in the title since this is a video you did click on. Which, by the way, if you did, thank you. We're talking about the Demoniacal Fit Berserker, also known as Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Now, before we get into it, I know you guys can see it right here. I'll even show it up close to you real quick. This box went through hell and back. I'll put the picture right here, but I would show off the box. It's just, it came broken. This is like the one time in terms of shipping from AliExpress where the shipping was bad, but the AliExpress customer service team did hook me up with a partial refund for the box, so good on them. But yeah, it does suck. These guys did come in a brown shipper just like any other figure arts you would get off of Premium Bandai, but that box was really weak and really flimsy. And then on top of it, the packaging for this, it was actually upside down in the box, which made no sense because it's like you open a figure box and then you see its feet. Like, who wants to just see grippers? But enough about that, enough about that. Today, we're looking at the Demoniacal Fit Berserker, so without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. And while we're getting into it, guys, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button and bell notification today. It really does help out a lot with the channel, so if you do, thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and go. So here we have the packaging, guys, and it is a lot of stuff to look at. And right off the bat, this figure is freaking huge. I know that the original S.H.Figuarts Broly was big, but I didn't think it was going to be this big. Before taking it out the box, you can just see it looks really great, and he does come with a decent amount of accessories. And those accessories are 2 different faceplates, 2 different pairs of hands, 1 headpiece and hand for the Super Saiyan Goku, 3 different key effects, and it even came with a stand for the figure effects and the figure itself. Which for around 60 bucks for a figure this big, that's pretty good. Like I said earlier, I just wish the box wasn't destroyed so I can actually show you the box, because it did look really cool, but it was just ripped up and beat to heck. And I would have said, let's open this up, but obviously it's already opened up, so we are not doing that today. Let's just go ahead and take this figure out the box. Oh yeah, he's definitely got some weight to it. But yeah, this figure is basically supposed to copy the body of the original S.H.Figuarts Legendary Broly, which makes sense, so this is basically their version of the 1.0 figure. In terms of articulation with his arms, this is how high they go. And as you can see, he has some really big butterfly joints. His arm does turn really well, so that's good. And in terms of his arm crunching, this is how much they go, which is pretty normal. One thing I noticed is this arm is a little loose, but it's not too bad for me. Now, if there's one thing I appreciate a lot, it's the way that they went about the painting and shading for this. It honestly looks really great. You can see a lot of the nice details that they did with the paint, especially on the skin, hair, and on the pants and skirt. And in terms of the way they went with the painting on the boots, they look pretty good too. It gives it a little shine and flair to this figure. But yeah, you guys can see what I'm talking about in terms of his arm being loose. So unlike the S.H.Figuarts version, this one has a bunch of ball joints on different sections of his robe, which is really good to me because in terms of posing, if you want him charging up, you can have his robe go out and kind of have like a little wavy wind effect. When it comes to his legs and articulation, when you see his legs, they're connected with these 2 big pegs, which is something that was used back in the day, but of course this is a 1.0 figure, so it's going to have some older articulation. But with this figure, it's understandable because he's just very freaking huge. In terms of him doing a split with his legs, this is how far they go. In terms of his legs, this is how high they go, which isn't too bad. Again, this is a really large figure, so his articulation is going to be a little bit more limited than your traditional figure arts. In terms of getting his legs to go back, you're not going to really get too much because of the back of the robe. It doesn't articulate, so it is just a still piece. So you won't really get a lot of posing when it comes to his legs, at least in the back sense. So it does seem that this leg is a little loose as well. I mean, all you gotta do is just put a little bit of something in there to give it a little bit of a tighter area. In terms of his leg bending with his knees, they do look really well and it does bend really great. What I do like is the knee looks basically natural just besides this little hole right here, but the fact that it has some painting and some shading, it does look really well. In terms of his feet, this is how far back they go and go up. And of course for you guys who like to look at their grippers, I mean obviously their toes curl up a little bit. In terms of ab crunch, it's not too bad going outward. And in terms of his abs crunching in, they're not too bad either. I mean, obviously, again, like I keep saying, he is a bigger figure, so he's going to have a little bit more limited articulation than normal figures. I will say when it comes to turning his head, it is a little bit tight on the peg, because you can hear that plastic snap, obviously. So I will say get some oil and loosen it up. What I do notice about his neck is it's not really a movable neck, but there is a longer neck peg for it that's double jointed. That way you can actually tilt it really far down. Like, look how far down that goes. Going up, however, is not going to be too much. But yeah, I mean, in terms of articulation, it's not too bad, but I do really love the detail on this Broly. Obviously, there's always going to be some imperfections because this is a third-party figure, but it's not as bad as people like to say. But now that we're done with the articulation, let's go ahead and get a closer look at all of his faces he comes with. And this is his normal face that he comes with. What I will say is I do appreciate that they updated the faceplates instead of giving us just the original faceplates for the original Broly, because it does look a little wonky and of course very outdated. So I do appreciate that. So here you have like his menacing smiling face, which looks really great. I think honestly this is my favorite faceplate out of the set, which is really good because you can have him look menacing in any pose that you do with this face. And here we have his shouting face, which you can use for fighting, for key charging, for power up boosting, you know, all the poses you can do when it comes to charging up people. But yeah, those are his faceplates. He only comes with 2 of them. I wish he came with a couple other ones, but I do know there's some other studios out there that are making more faceplates for him. So that's really good. But guys, now that we are done looking at the faces, let's just go ahead and move on to the articulation and posing, because that's what we care about here. So here's Broly in his neutral standing pose as he came out the box with. It does look really great. I do like how huge this character is and how huge the figure is itself. I will say it does take a little bit more effort to have him standing up on his own, just because some pieces of his body are a little bit heavier than others. And when it comes to his legs, they are a little loose. At least for me, the right one is. But it looks really good. So here now we have him holding up one of his key effects, basically him charging it, which honestly looks really great. I do like that these come with 3 different key effects and you can put them on the stand that's included. But yeah, it looks really great. So I went ahead and took out the figure stand that comes with him, because in terms of having him stand up on his own, it is a little difficult since his legs are loose. But I do have him shouting and powering up. Now the stand that comes with it is really great. It's a really high quality stand and it does hold his weight really well. Now, if there's one thing I've noticed about the faceplates and changing them out is they are a little loose, so do be wary of that. And here we have Broly fighting Goku. Honestly, he looks really well. He scales very great with a lot of these figures, and he just looks menacing. So now I have him holding up Goku with the accessory piece he comes with, and he's charging up a ki blast, getting ready to just throw at his face. When it comes to the hair piece, it does fit pretty well. I will say I had to get a figure art stand for him because I thought he would be able to hold them on his own. But like I did say before earlier in the articulation, his arm is a little loose, so it does go down with a little bit of weight, but it is not too bad. And for his final pose, we have him pushing Goku down onto the ground while he's throwing key effects at him. Now I will say, in terms of trying to really get this figure art stand to hold him to the side, it is a little bit more difficult because his legs move and are a little loose, and because I thought the figure art stand was pretty strong enough, but it's not super strong to hold him in the air like that. So do be mindful of that. But I mean, overall, he just looks really great. Well, now that we're done with the articulation and posing and everything, let's go ahead and move on to our final thoughts about this figure. So what are my final thoughts on the Demoniacal Fit Broly? Now, to just get the elephant out of the room real quick, of course the shipping is not great with him. The shipping for him is really lackluster. I do wish they cared a little bit more about the shipping because my box came completely destroyed, as you guys saw on the screen earlier. As an avid collector of figures and figure arts and everything like that, I love keeping the boxes in great condition for later. Behind this camera, my entire closet is filled with all of the boxes for every figure I have in this room in perfect condition, just because I'm like that. But let's take shipping out of the equation of this whole ranking right now. The figure itself is really great. I love the way that this Broly scales with every other figure arts. He's big enough to scale and make a complete difference and to seem realistic, but he's not too big to where it just looks out of place. With his faceplates, they look a lot better than the original figure arts and the reissue that they're coming out with, which, I mean, come on now, Tamashi, you guys couldn't just update the face a little bit? You had to let Demoniacal Fit come out of nowhere and just swamp y'all out the water with that one? Come on now. But I will say they do look a lot more fitting and a lot more in style with the more newer figure arts that we're getting. In terms of his articulation, they're not too bad. I will say one of my arms and one of my legs are a little bit loose, but obviously you can fix that really easily. And since this is modeled after a 1.0 figure, of course it's going to have older and out of style articulation, so it is going to be more limited than what you can get nowadays. But for what it is, it's really great. He also comes with a lot of accessories. He comes with an additional piece to put on the Goku and comes with 3 key effects and a stand. All of that for about 60 bucks. I mean, it's really great. I think if you were to give me this and the S.H.Figuarts reissue side by side, I would rather take the Demoniacal Fit because you're getting the same thing with more upgraded faces and it's a lot cheaper. That's a whole $30 cheaper. Plus knowing Premium Bandai and their freaking $10 shipping, that's about $40 cheaper. And you're getting the same thing basically, but just with updated faces. If you guys do want this figure, I will of course, as always, put the link down below so you can get your hands on this and see how you like it for yourself. In terms of the Demoniacal Fit Broly, I'm giving this bad boy a 9 out of 10. Like I said, with the articulation, it is a little bit limited, but this is just a great piece to add to your collection, especially if you're looking for a Broly, but not also wanting to go and ship out basically $100 for him. On another note, I will always say, since this is a third-party figure, there's always room for improvement. And I do hope they take more consideration into the shipping process of this figure because, again, like you guys saw, my box was completely destroyed. Which to some people that doesn't matter, but for avid collectors like me, it does matter a little bit. But we're talking about the figure here. We're not reviewing the box itself, so we can get that out the way. But yeah, like I said, his articulation is decent. He has better faceplates than the original S.H.Figuarts. He comes with a decent amount of accessories. And he's just built really well besides the loose arm and the leg. But yeah, guys, if you have this Demoniacal Fit Broly, let me know down below what your thoughts on him because I want to see what you guys think about him. But yeah, like I said, 9 out of 10. But that's going to be it for the video today, guys. So if you want, leave a like, drop some feedback down below. Let me know if you guys have this Demoniacal Fit Broly. Let me know your thoughts on him. And also let me know your thoughts on the review here on this channel because I would love to see your feedback. And besides that, just don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell notification today if you want to keep updated with more of these figure reviews and content and everything. It does help out a lot with the channel, and I do appreciate the love and support that y'all have been doing for this channel. And that's it. I'm the Crazed J, and I will see you guys in the next review.